So you're probably looking for information about the Technomancer, which is quite a popular game these days, especially on GamerAttitude.com. Visit there as soon as you finish watching this video. So Thomas, you told me about Technomancer. It's a role-playing game from Spider Studios. Would you like to tell us a bit about the game?
Yeah, from Spider Studios, who brought us Bound by Flame, an action RPG that appeared on the PS4 last year. Although I enjoyed the game, it was ultimately a little bit lacking in some departments, but it's how the Technomancer fell under my radar. I was interested to see what's next, what's going to come from these guys. And what they've got is the Technomancer, which is a game that really looks brilliant to me anyway, because it's set on a post-apocalyptic Mars, and and the Technomancer himself is a super powerful being.
So the planet it takes, it's based on
it's based on Mars.
It's been confirmed as Mars.
Yeah, that's right. It's on Mars.
Yep.
And the players take on the role of a Technomancer. We don't know at this point if it's the Technomancer or a Technomancer. This is something that we've been debating, whether you get to create your own Technomancer or you just take in charge of the Technomancer. But anyway, he's a pretty badass cybernetically enhanced being. He has magical powers, and it's almost a little bit Star Wars-ish, a little bit Infamous, and we don't know if it's...
I think the Infamous comes from probably the art style and the use of the power. It just comes off a bit, Infamous-ish, but I'm from what I've seen in the footage, it doesn't look like a game that is based on an Infamous gameplay style, if you know what I mean.
That's right, and there's already quite a backstory. So obviously, it's set sometime in the future, on fictional Mars, in a city called Noctis, and it takes place sometime after the War of Water. Now we don't know what the War of Water is yet, but we can kind of presume Mars not being very rich in the H2O, so there might have been some fight between that. But anyway, there's one last civilization on Mars that somehow was spared this war, Noctis, but it's not at all a peaceful place, and the Technomancer and his companion will have to face bandits, pillagers, and lots of monsters, mutants. When they're on the run from the secret police. And it looks brilliant because there's a lot of settings. So there's a dystopian shanty town. There's ice. I can see some ice. I've
got a few things that I've pulled up, and they say there's an in-depth crafting system which changes the appearance of weapons and armor. So are we going to be? Does that mean it's only for weapons and armor? Could that be possible? Would we want to spend time on it, using an in-depth crafting system just for appearance? Or I would, but do you think that would be the majority of people?
If it's just superficial, then it will be a bit of a shame, really, because of course, if you can craft different weapons and armor, then see how they work out in battle. If it's such a deep system, then chances are there's going to be a lot more to it that's going to directly affect the gameplay, which makes it just even more interesting.
And then what you going to add to that?
Well, also there's as all RPGs go, where the decisions that you make, there's great consequences to them, and we were told that the story will change based on the decisions that you make. So it seems like it's going to be quite...
The headline I saw from them was, it's actually right here, a world that reacts to your decisions. So that sounds interesting. If that can be implemented in a mass scale, I don't know, maybe you decide to destroy someone, destroy a city or somewhere, or do something, then it reflects on the whole game. That would be awesome. But also, maybe that's a bit too much to ask.
Well, I don't think it is. We've seen it, working very, very well in The Witcher. They were able to implement that system amazingly. Every little action has its own reaction. So I don't see how they can't, implement such a thing. And it just adds to the overall depth of the game. It doesn't seem like there's going to be a linear storyline. It really feels very big open world stuff.
So. In the gameplay footage we received, the controversial gameplay footage we received, we saw that I got a glimpse of, the main character fighting, but behind him there was like a party member. And I was wondering, will this have party members helping you out, or is it just so, he follows you or she follows you for one quest and then they're off? Would you I don't think there's any mention of a party system, but
it seems like you can at least manage their inventory and also level up your companions. So
you can do that.
Yeah, it seems to me you're going to have your little party who will follow you wherever they go, who also will have quite an extensive backstory to themselves, and you can level them up. So it feels a little bit like a Final Fantasy where every party member matters. Yeah, because they will all ultimately help you out in battles. And also
hopefully that is the case, and it's not just let's give these guys a backstory and something to say in the game, because then I would rather just be alone.
Well,
you remember what happened in Final Fantasy, was it 13? The one that you really disliked because of the party members.
Yeah. Hope.
Yeah. Oh. So hopefully it's not something like that. No pun intended.
Yeah.
And we get fully fleshed, backstories and motivations for these party members.
Yes. This game has amazing potential. It already looks the part. What we need now is for them to really flesh it out, for us to really stake an interest in not just the Technomancer, but everything around the Technomancer. And that will include the traveling party with him. Yeah. What kind of world setting is going to be.
Well, on the subject of world setting, the game does look amazing, to be honest. Considering this is pre-alpha footage, it looks really good. I like the art style. I like the way they, use the graphics engine. It looks really clean and nice. I'm really enjoying it, and I can't wait to get into the whole world and explore. It is looking really good.
Yeah, me too. Like I said, there's so much potential here. It already looks the part, and now let's hope it plays the part.
Well, only things that I want is, again, a good party system. If there is going to be party members, of course, if it's not just a companion that follows you for a mission or two, then a nice in-depth party system with good background and motivation for these side characters. Really good soundtrack, and they can do really good things with this cyberpunk. There's a lot of talented musicians out there. I'm sure they've probably got a lot of them in their own company. So I hope they do some interesting thing with the sound, and hopefully as well, I would like voiceover for the characters. I don't want to be doing a lot of reading anymore. That seems to be the norm, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right. If we fall back to Bound by Flame, mechanically it wasn't. It could have had a bit more polish, but it did look great. Especially the enemies. The enemies, in fact, were to me the highlight of that game. Mm-hmm. They were massive and full of detail, and they were very inventive. Mm-hmm. And I love the art style of them, and I think that's definitely something that Spider Studio is very strong at. If they can apply to everything else, then I think we have on our hands a fantastic game.
Yep. So the release date says 2016. We don't have a release window, do we?
No, not yet. Just 2016.
2016. Okay, then. So for more information about the Technomancer, head over to www.gameattitude.com. If you like this video, leave us a like. If you didn't, leave us a dislike. Let us know what you think in the comments below. All the social jazz is up there as well. Share, like, whatever you're going to do on social media. And we'll see you soon with more Technomancer information.
Thank you.